But anyway, the upper right in the red for Team NV, he is creator. And his opponent in the bottom left in the blue for Kaitsa Gaming. Ace number 1 for them, he is Solar. And I say that ace number 1 because, I mean, on a team that has innovation as well, and time. The savior of Kaitsa Gaming in the previous Golden Team League, when it was called the Golden Team League, not the World Team League. Well, of course, time came on in. He won the ace match because Innovation was terrified of Joan at that point and was able to kill off Alpha X in the grand finals of that tournament. But anyway, yeah, that is a scary, scary team indeed when we look at Kaitsa Gaming. But Team NV, no less scary. They have the absolute Team League monster that is Creator. They have Maru, who is, you know, the 4th race in and of himself, one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And, oh, okay, never mind. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at Kaitsa Gaming's roster, and they're like, yeah, Nice is on the team. And I'm like, what? No. But, okay, they were former players. Anyway, yeah, so you have the Super Ace in Maru. You have the Super Ace if you gotta you gotta deal with a Terran in DRG, and you know, I mean, honestly, both these teams are absolutely terrifying. There's a good reason that both teams are 3-0 right now. I think this is probably, I mean, maybe now, maybe when they have to face the Freak of Freaks later on, is probably the only game series they have a chances of losing until they go on into the finals. I mean, Team NV is even bigger, though. They got Bunny, they have Creator, they have DRG, Maru, Nightmare, Percival, SOS. Yeah, they have an ace, pretty much. They have an ace to a super ace in, like, every matchup. And yeah, SOS is not as good as he once was, but, you know, still a fantastic player. As, well, we're going to have to see what happens in this series. Why did I close out the GSL tab? There we go. Yeah, we're gonna have to see what exactly Creator decides to go for in this game. It will be a Stargate opener. Of course, it will be Stargate into Warp Gate, as that is kind of the standard. There was a time where Trap was going for Warp Gate into Stargate, and honestly, I did kind of like it. I thought it was a pretty cool build, but unfortunately, I guess it was just maybe a little bit too vulnerable to things. So we just see Stargate into Warp Gate become the dominant tech path once again here, as we've seen actually a lot more Protoss players as well kind of start adapting and start to move it into a media ground tech. So a Void Ray, you get an Oracle, and then that is as far as you go, because these Queen Walk builds are maybe just are very powerful, and it's very hard to hold them with just Void Rays. Now, it can happen. I've definitely seen that hold happen, but it feels like it's a lot easier for the Protoss players if they can go and you know, have a couple more ground-based units, maybe afford a little bit more static defense, get some Immortals out, whatever the case. So this will be Void Ray into Oracle, and we're just at that point where we should see a 3rd base pop on down, but no, Creator. Ooh, buddy. So here's what we got here. I don't know. I call this the stats build. I don't know if that is probably a good name for it, but whatever. It's what I call it. And because Stats is the first player I saw doing this, where you go and you go Stargate units, and in fact, actually, Solar committing a little bit harder to Stargate than you would normally expect. And sure, you get your 3rd base at a somewhat normal time here. Now, with the Adepts warping on in, these Zerglings should be dealt with. So you get a couple. You get an Oracle, you get a Void Ray, whatever the case may be, and then you go and you get Adepts. You get Adept Claves, and you run across the map and you say, "Hey, Solar, you are I'm gonna catch you joining, right? But these Zerglings actually are causing such a big issue for Solar right now, as well, they're going to get a pylon, they're going to get a couple probes, they're going to get some Adepts, and that is certainly suboptimal there for Creator in this game. I mean, Solar's a 10 on attacking, so that does make a lot of sense. But anyway, you get the Adept Glaives, and you hope that the Zerg player has been a little bit too greedy, has droned a little bit too hard. They haven't built any roaches. But these Zerglings actually, when you see Solar, this is a fairly large commitment to Zerglings, since he does have, probably about 30 lings on the map, or 20, 30 lings on the map right now, which is far more than you normally expect to see. But anyway, it does appear that also that Solar is preparing for a Queen Walk build, as, well, yeah, it is absolutely going to be. Look how many queens there are on the map. I don't have a number. Of course, I cannot hit the units tab. But this is, I mean, this is a lot. There's been kind of continuous queen production. I've seen a lot of queens everywhere. So this is looking like it may very well be a Queen Walk build. Although Solar will go up to about 60 workers. So there's that. I mean, now we have a bunch of Zerglings on the way. No roaches yet. And as annoying as those Zerglings were, as a couple of Adepts will get taken on down before glaives are complete. Well, this is looking a little bit better for Creator at this point here, as now roaches will start to get made, but we do have that immediate timing where maybe these Adepts can get something undone here, but there are too many queens here just now. Adepts will find the third base, but there are too many Zerglings as well. This is just not working for Creator whatsoever, but hey, oh, you know what? Oh, that is a lot of Adepts warping, and actually, this is, I did not notice how many gates were made. Now the Adepts will shade on up into the main base here. There's not a lot of army here at this point. So we will see, they will have to shade on out eventually, but these are some fairly good trades as of yet. As now the roaches are piling out more and more and more. Now they will find the natural once again, but we're not seeing a lot of damage really happen here at this point, as the War Prism will start to take some damage here. All the Adepts will get, or at least most of them will get taken on down. Oh, all but 2. And yeah, four drones have died, sure, but it's 4 drones. It's not nearly what you're looking for. Now, we're maybe starting to see this a little bit more, as we do have another warp in coming on in. We're starting to see that. Oh, the War Prism. Is there range? Yes, it will go on down. Okay. So the Spore there doing fantastic damage. The War Prism does die. Creator not happy about that one, and now he's down 50 total supply here. And that's all really an army, because yeah, he got 7 drones, but 7 drones does not a successful Adept pressure make here. So what is he doing? Well, he's building some Immortals, he's adding some shield batteries, he realizes that he is in a whole world of troubles. We have a bunch of Zerglings, a bunch of Roaches, a bunch of Ravagers on the way. Solar, he got an Evo, but he says, I don't really care about Evos. Whatever. Roaches, and now, yeah, the Queens are walking. They have these boots were made for walking, or what the Queens are saying. Perhaps, though, they're made for dancing. They're made for waddling now, as they will find their way across the map, knocking down these rocks to make sure they can find their way up onto the high ground a little bit easier. And now at 114 army supply to 37, it is really looking dire for our Protoss player at this point. This third base absolutely goes down. The question really is whether Creator can hold his natural. I don't think that's going to be the case. There we have a GG Creator. He's going to tap out, and game 1 will go to the Kaitza Gaming Zerg. Man, I love that we were able to upgrade the my internet, so now I can support like full 6K, 6,000 kilobit per second broadcast. I mean, I certainly cannot do 4K. That requires like 30 megabits per second. And also, I mean, Twitch doesn't support that either. I don't think Trovo does either. So, I mean, certainly no big deal. But yeah, I can finally support like solid 1080p 60 stuff. And I was up, you know, I do a lot of YouTube recordings. I was trying to get a video that I had done on Friday night to Snoopy. I had to re-encode it because, unfortunately, I managed to encode it like 71,000 kilobits per second, which is, unfortunately, Snoopy's, our YouTube editor, could not support. He's like, yeah, this is a little bit too data rich for me. So I had to go re-encode it. And then I kept trying to upload it, and I had some audio issues yesterday doing the CEA where an audio cable, a virtual audio cable that I had installed had broken. Had been poorly installed, so it was just everywhere. So I restarted my computer 3 or 4 times, pretty much every time the upload, which was it was like 15 gigabytes, so not terrible, but certainly not the smallest thing. It was at like 80%. So I'm sitting here restarting this upload like 7 or 8 times at 80%, 90% each time, and well, that was my little bit of drama yesterday as I made some mistakes. But now, of course, we do have Stargate into Warp Gate once again here for Creator. I don't think we're going to see the stats build. I don't think we're going to see the Stargate into Glaive build in this game because it really didn't work. Solar was absolutely on top of things. So now, okay, so the probe will scout the fact that this third base... Okay, Creator, I don't know how I feel about that one. I mean, with 3 Zerglings, yeah, there we go. We'll delay it a little bit, you know. 25 minerals, delay it for another 10 seconds? Sure, okay, whatever. But now there's a depth will show on up here, and it's just a scouting adept. There are not a lot of Zerglings to really deal with this. But also, I mean, it shouldn't get a lot of damage. There are queens, excuse me, there's creep. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty not useful, pretty unimpressive. But of course, Void Rays are gonna be out here, and it will be Void Ray into Oracle. And really what we're gonna have to look at is A, does Creator take that 350 third base? B, does he add this second Stargate? Now, Solar is probably one of the better players at just killing these double Stargate builds. It was kind of funny, I did a best of 9 between him and Stats about a month ago. And we saw Solar just complaining about complaining in chat about how imba the double Stargate build was against Stats, and then he convinced Stats to do it a couple times, and every time Stats tried it, Stats just died to the different timings that Solar was able to run out here. So I'm not sure whether Solar actually believes that that build is imba, or whether he was just doing that to try to convince Stats that he thought it was, so he could just go kill him. Anyway, we will have to see what Creator does go for. He does have the 350 third base, and there we go, second Stargate on the way. This is the build. It is probably the most powerful build that Protoss players have at the moment. But it's certainly it's becoming a little bit less powerful as Zergs have kind of started to realize how you can go kill a player like this. And as Oracle will dive on in, kill off 2 drones, which, hey, you know what, that's better than 0, but it's going to take a lot of damage, and will be just a scouting unit pretty much forevermore. But yeah, we have the Void Ray tech coming on in. I do like this more from Creator here. This is a much more powerful option for Creator in this this game. As once again, Solar makes a decent amount more Zerglings than a lot of Zerg players do at this point in the game. So he has been able to take advantage of that. Is killing off a couple of depths, getting some probes. Now he's getting less damage with this than he did in the previous game. So that's going to be somewhat nice for him. As he's got a couple more Zerglings on the way, Roachborn on the way as well. As he has learned from the game number 1 that, well, Creator, he can't get away, or Solar can't get away with just a straight on up into, you know, Lingbane, Hydra, which honestly is not that great of a composition anyways. Of course, if anyone's going to make that work, it will be Solar's. Solar was kind of the progenitor of that style, but I do expect to see a Queen walker. Yeah, Queens are already starting to walk here across the map. As, well, oh no, they're just forcing the Oracle back for the time being. Okay, but how many Queens do we have? Solar, he's going on up into just about 70 workers. So maybe this will be a longer game here. It is, of course, harder to make the Queen walk work on this map, as it's a longer map. It's rather choky. It's hard for Queens to really find the way on up into the third base. Oh, look at that, those Zerglings on the third base. We'll knock off the sentry. And again, Solar's just getting so much done with the Zerglings in this game, in this series against Creator, that I cannot help but be impressed. I mean, this is reminiscent of another player. This is reminiscent of like Rainer level Zerglings. But look at this. Oh, I love this from Solar. So what he's doing, and actually what we've seen, it's Solar and Rainer are like the 2 big proponents of this style right now. He is opening a Stargate. And you might say, hey, BeoMulf, doesn't Creator have double Stargate Void Ray? Like, isn't that not all that great? Can't he just go double Stargate Phoenix and be very powerful? Yeah, he can. As this 4th base will get canceled here, as well, all the 4 prismatic alignment Void Rays. Oh no, yeah, okay, that was a cancel, I think. No way, that was a kill. Yeah, there we go. Oh, was that a kill? Yeah, it was. Okay. I did not think that went down that fast, but anyway, yeah, that will go on down. Anyway, yeah, 4 prismatic alignment Void Rays. They do lots and lots of damage. And the Queen's not totally in position as of yet, but I do love that, okay, these 3 Queens are going to be in position, but they will lose one of their number. But with this support here, yeah, it's going to be fun. Anyway, this Stargate build is really cool. Because, the Spire build is really cool. So what you do is you go and you build, you open with Phoenix, or you open with Mutas, right? Because, well, it depends. I think Solar is aware that this is scouted, but you still open with Phoenix anyways, because they can fight the Void Rays rather well. And then you go into Corruptors, and you go Phoenix Corruptor, which is a style that we have not seen, really, since Heart of the Storm, and I love that it's making a comeback. It's a really cool style. It's a very different style than a lot of Zerg players do play. And now the Void Rays will find this 4th base and get the cancel once again. Oh, I guess 1 kill, 1 cancel at this point. Now, more and more Void Rays, more and more Phoenix are on the way at this point. So I think we're at, what, 8 Void Rays? 7, 8 Void Rays. and a bunch of Phoenix. But okay, it will be Corruptors on the start here as he realizes that, okay, this has been scattered. Yeah, I'm not going to get anything done with the mutas. But the thing that this does, the thing that Opening Spire here does, is it allows Solar, or it prevents, I should say, prevents Creator from getting on up into the really quick carriers that make this style so powerful. It keeps him on Phoenix Void Ray for a lot longer, and that is a whole lot easier for the Zerg player to really deal with than, you know, highly upgraded carriers. So now we will have the Corruptors moving across the map at this point, and of course you overbuild Corruptors. You want to make it so you can just kind of take the fight and then maybe knock a base down. So how many Corruptors do we have? I'm not totally sure. But they're going to shirk around at this point and look to see whether they can find any Void Rays, as it's just Zealots on the ground, right? We have some Archons now, and that is going to make life a little bit more difficult. But with these cannons here as well, yeah, the Corruptors won't be all that successful at first. But we should see them start to, oh no, they're just going to jump on top of this. But with the Void Rays here with the Phoenix, yeah, this is not going to be all that successful, and Creator has done a fantastic job of progressing. Now, we don't have any mutas, right? So it's not like Solar can get any sort of economic damage done, and while he has a lot of, there are a lot of Void Rays, there are a lot of Phoenix, and I guess the one upside here is Creator does not really have that powerful of a ground army. Blink is on the way, of course, it's not done yet. And it's just charged out of Mortal Archon, which is, you know, very good against this army. But here's part 2 of this build, right? Solar with the Queen Walk, with the Roach Ravager Queens. Well, he's going to have a lot of Corruptors which nullify the air advantage that Creator does have. And this 4th base probably goes down. We will see now, Creator, he's going to take the fight. Prismatic Alignment will get turned on. And the Bile, they're not going to land at the moment here. But we don't have any shield batteries just yet. There's not a whole lot of army on the ground, though, to be totally honest here. The Archons, they're firing strong, though. Void Rays are going to take some massive Biles. And that being said, though, it does look like Creator, for the moment, he is holding. A lot of this army is going down. Void Rays will be able to evade for the time being. And now with the shield batteries up, we should be able to see some shield battery overcharge go on down. And yes, it's a 50 army supply deficit, but +2 is on the way. And it's a rather expensive army for Creator at the moment here. That being said, though, the rally is coming on in, and it's not the first fight. It's not the first battle that is supposed to win the war here. This is very much a battle of attrition, a war of attrition, as the Queens continue to transfuse, and more Roaches, more Ravagers come piling on in. But the Archons, the Chargeless, they're going to look to take the fight before it really sets off in earnest. And yeah, the Voiders are getting taken down by the air, but these Archons and these Immortals are firing strong, but it looks like there's just too many Roaches on the ground. And yes, we do have some fantastic micro here from the Warp Prison, but every time this happens, the supply gap is getting bigger. Now it's a 60, a 70 almost, well, yes, just about a 50-60 army supply lead. And that's getting a little bit scary. That being said, though, +2 just about done here for Creator. He will have Storm as well eventually. And he is keeping his 4th base alive, so the longer this goes for him, the better it certainly is. Now these Biles will start to take down the static defense that we do have here for Solar. But hey, the Bile, or excuse me, for Creator, but the Biles are going to be, excuse me, the Force Fields are going to be somewhat decent. That being said, though, again, it's just a matter of scale. Not a matter of quality, but a matter of quantity. Okay, but +2 is done. We will see some High Templars get warped in, as Storm is getting very close to getting finished here. But this army on the right-hand side is fighting without the army on the left here. So both armies will be able to fight without each other. But I mean, look at this Creator. His supply is getting a whole lot better, and Charles will be able to engage. Okay, that's what the army on the left-hand side was dealing with, a bunch of Corruptors. And you know what? With this Concave, with the Blink Stalkers here, this army from Solar is starting to fall down. The Immortals are firing strong here. Stalkers are fighting strong as well. And once again, Solar will be beaten back. This time, though, well, that Creator does feel like he is licensed to attack, as you've got to remember, probably 10 of this army supply from Solar, 10-20 of this army supply is in useless Corruptors. That being said, though, the main base did go down. That was what we missed in all of this. Main base did get taken down here, so it's a 3-base Protoss instead of a 4, but the Corruptors starting to go down in earnest at this point. And as sad as Creator is to lose that main base, and he is sad, don't get me wrong, this is a main base that dying at 12 minutes into this game. It is not nearly as impactful as it once was. But do we have Storms here? Are there any High Templars with Storms? Not yet. But this, the Immortal flank with Stalkers on the right-hand side, well, this should be enough. I think this is... there we go. That's a Storm. And it will just do a very good job of softening everything up. But Solar actually going to make the push here happen. Actually, it looks like Solar does have enough at the end of the day. It was looking... yeah, it looks like this is going to be the straw. Getting that main base denied Creator just enough economy that he's not going to be able to keep reinforcing. And this is the straw that broke the camel's back. Knocking down that main base was absolutely what Solar needed to really take the fight here. And I would have loved to see... I really would have loved to see some more, some disruptors, actually. But, of course, no RoboBay. And now we're going to see the two Corruptors ever so slowly knock the Natural down. 12 workers have died. The rally here from Solar is going to be more than enough at this point. Finally, in this game of push and pull, ebb and flow, it looks like Solar, he has found the high tide. And this fourth base will get taken down. The Natural is ever so slowly going to survive. Actually, the Corruptors do die at the last second. And, well, you know what? The fourth base will be alive as well. And it's only a 40 army supply deficit at this point, not 50. Third, +3 is on the way. And did I speak too soon? Does Creator have the hold here? It was looking like he didn't, and he lost some workers, absolutely. But I mean, the supply gap, it's not okay. Now it's bad again. It's improving just a little bit. I mean, these Blink Stalkers are fighting well, but +2 is just about done. So Solar Creator will not have that upgrade lead. And these force fields, I mean, they're going to be great, but we will see the Biles knock them down. And part of the army is not fighting. We don't have a lot of static defense anymore. Most of that is down. More Queens are joining the fight here. And I don't know, man. It feels like Solar has just enough. It feels like Solar has just enough. And in this 14-minute game, yeah, that is going to be it. GG Creator is going to fall down. Solar going to put his team up 2-0.